So this came out in the Hollywood Reporter today, and it's I gotta go over here, and it's the McKenzie Report, McKenzie Report. Hollywood forfeits up to $30 billion every year because of racial inequity. Over 3 reports, McKinsey has tallied up the entertainment industry's opportunity costs of continuing to diminish Black, Latino, and Asian Pacific Islander colleagues and audiences. Who would pass up $30 billion? Hollywood top decision makers and gatekeepers, apparently. Beginning in 2021, the consulting firm McKinsey has published a series of reports exploring the entertainment industry's representation and inclusion of historically excluded people. Along the way, the analysts totaled up the potential financial revenue that Hollywood could stand to gain if it adopted more culturally inclusive business solutions. $10 billion per year from closing the Black inequity gap, an eye-popping 12 to 18 billion from properly valuing Latino professionals and consumers, and in the latest report released today, conducted in collaboration with Goldhouse, 2 billion to 4.4 billion for more effectively tapping the Asian and Pacific Islander market. And the way they get these figures is they basically they surveyed people of color and said how more likely are you to watch a movie watch a movie or television that represents you, that has representation, Black representation, Latino, and so they would respond by saying, yes, I would be willing to spend more money. That's kind of the response they were looking for, and therefore they came up with this $30 billion number. And I don't know.
I still don't understand how you get $30 billion from that. Anytime someone starts throwing numbers at me and saying, oh, this percentage of people or that, I'm always like, how did you get these numbers? And you never know. And it could all totally be made up and fake. But of course, I do feel like, if you have people want to watch shows that represent themselves, like that's true for sure. But yeah, anytime someone starts just telling me numbers like, well, this, and this, I'm just like, okay, how did you get that? Math?
Yeah.
Like what math is that?
Yeah, I mean, the impression I got was, it's basically they just surveyed people and they asked them, how would you be more likely to spend money on content that has your representation in it?
That's also, though, like that may or may not, they say they would, but then if it actually comes out, because there's a lot of movies I say I'm going to go see, and then it comes out, and then I don't go see it.
No, absolutely. That's ultimately the question I had is, I think I would be more inclined to say, if it had more Asians in it, I would see it. But I don't know how I'd quantify that. And,
right.
The other thing is, go ahead.
Go ahead. Yash says Monkey Man made 22 million. And I went and saw Monkey Man. Actually, I was really curious about like what an Indian kind of John Wick would look like. And it was pretty good. I'd love to see more. I'm down to see more of everybody and everything. But I feel like we've been doing better. Like I feel like Hollywood has been doing better about being more inclusive with casting. So that's the thing that, I'm just like, well, I feel like there has been a real push to have more inclusivity across the board. And I've seen certainly a lot more inclusivity across the board. So I think we're like, that's great. Okay.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think things have definitely gotten better. I just don't know that you could quantify a $30 billion.
I don't know how you get that number. Like, I don't know about anytime someone starts saying numbers at me in statistics, I'm like, okay, sure.
Look,
it sounds official, but okay.
Last year, Oppenheimer and Barbie, those were your outliers in terms of $2 billion. There's more to that. And then also, okay, so here, I'll give you my history with my quick history with Asian American cinema.
Yeah.
For the longest time, I've always felt Asian Americans have been underrepresented.
For sure.
And I'll say this. So the story I always tell is, 30 years ago, you had Joy Luck Club come out, and big success for Disney, for Touchstone Pictures at that time.
Yeah.
and we didn't see another Asian American movie again for another 25 years when Crazy Rich Asians came out. And that one was a big success. And,
Yes.
and I will say that a lot has happened in between Joy Luck Club and Crazy Rich Asians in terms of Asian American film and television. And it usually it was like it was never very good. And a movie would come out and it's like that it didn't quite hit the mark. All American Girl was a television show that CBS put out with Margaret Cho. That thing failed miserably, and there wasn't an Asian American television show that came out until Fresh Off the Boat.
Yeah.
And so when you fail, it's hard to get back up on the seat again.
Yeah.
And I felt like, and I feel like since Crazy Rich Asians, you are seeing Asian American filmmakers finding their way into the theaters. For example, Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Yes,
very much
fantastic. Loved it. Fantastic.
Yeah. Past Lives, The Farewell. It was, it's kind of, you are looking for these little gateways, these little doors that open to finally prove that we can make good movies. And I think that's been, look, there's been black American filmmakers, there have been Latino. I mean, I feel like, as you say, it's gotten better. I just don't know that 30 billion is the number.
Yeah, that's the thing that I'm just like, I'd love to see more films by all sorts of different people, starring all sorts of different people, written and directed by all sorts of different people. I love seeing all the different perspectives. I think everybody has a unique perspective, and I like seeing all of those things. But 30 billion, again, it's like, okay, sure. Yeah. whatever. Sure. Well, 30 billion. Okay, cool.
Yeah. I mean, I remember over the years growing up that, it's like, oh, there's Asians in it. We need to go and buy a ticket and support our community. And then you go and it's like, oh, that wasn't good. And then you see the final box office and it's like, it failed. And the reason I bring that up is ultimately it comes down to quality.
Yeah.
You can put Asians, Latinos, Blacks in your movie, but the movie still has to be good. And
it still has to be good. Yeah. It still has to have a good story.
Yeah. And at the same time, those stories have to resonate to a broader audience than just the people who are represented on the screen.
I don't know.
Go ahead.
Well, also Hollywood is shrinking. I mean, it's dying. So it's like, oh, we need more films of all this other stuff. And I'm like, I don't know. We're just lucky to get a film out now. I feel like things have been so fucked up within the industry that it's like, I don't know how you put out more content with more everything. But whilst everything is also shrinking and kind of dying a little bit, and for various reasons. It's the economy sucks right now. Also, like the younger generations, from what I understand, aren't watching movies. They have, they're on TikTok. They're not really give a fuck about movies. It's only older people like us that seem to fucking care about movies. And our pool is dwindling and getting smaller and smaller. So I don't know what the future holds. It'll be interesting to see how Hollywood adapts to all of this over the coming years. Yeah.
And I think the bottom line is, you can get on the diversity, the representation bandwagon all you want. Ultimately, the product has to be good.
Yes. Always.
And again, it's like when you do put a movie out there that represents you, and if it's not good and it fails at the box office, that just tells the executives with the money that no one watches this stuff.
Right.
And, I don't know. Did you see Crazy Rich Asians?
I did not.
Okay.
That title, I'm like, ooh, I want to watch rich people. Like, I don't want to watch crazy rich white people either. I don't want to see any of that, really super highly materialistic crap. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's not that, but the title alone, I was just like, I'm good. Crazy Rich Asians. I don't want to see crazy rich anybody.
Yeah. Well, the story is ultimately it's a romance.
Yes.
It's about an Asian American woman who's a fish out of water when she goes back overseas to her very rich boyfriend. And
are they Korean?
No, they're Chinese.
Chinese, okay.
Yeah, and I do remember I told my daughter, I saw it, I loved it, and I took my daughter and I said, look, I know you're too young to watch this movie, but you need to see this because this might be the last Asian American movie you ever see, or that Hollywood will ever make.
Yeah, but then Everything Everywhere All at Once came out and like knocked my fucking socks off. It's like, that is a fucking, yes, that's what a story I want to see. Like, that was so well done. I absolutely love that movie. I own it on Blu-ray.
Yeah, and if you don't mind, I'll keep propping up the Asian Americans.
Please.
You know, the thing about Crazy Rich Asians, Everything Everywhere All at Once, Past Lives, the successful Asian American movies that have come out recently is they just tell stories. They tell stories that people can relate to, and that there's not this soapbox they have to stand on.
Yeah,
that seems to be occurring with other films about basically about white oppression. It's like, you know, that story just gets to get old sometimes, and sometimes you just want to watch a movie that you can relate to and put yourself in the shoes of the protagonist, even if they don't look like you.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, human stories. I mean,
Right.
at the end of the day, we're all human beings, so like we can tell human stories that appeal to everybody and can have appeal to whomever, like whatever ethnicity you happen to be.